Greetings and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And that's when I'm doing this, on Sunday evening. It's a part of what I call the Sunday night meeting, which I believe is kind of an interesting idea. And my name is Stan Houston. And did that little beginning sound different and rather old-fashioned? Well, it certainly is different from our usual high-energy sounders. But that is an introduction to a radio program that's, maybe 60, 70 years old now. Still well done, but here's the story. It's called Songs in the Night, and it was an attempt to actually help people in some of the first of the late night radio programs. Songs in the Night, it was called, and there was a good reason and a story for that, and why for that. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about it because I think it might be helpful to you and me on this Sunday night as we face a difficult world, a difficult week, and probably some difficult times at work. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas, and it begins right now. These principles.
'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight.
Well, actually, it had an influence on me as a child. You see, my uncle, his name was Donald Houston, and he was a rather famous church musician and led a famous Christian choir called the Moody Bible Institute Chorale, was the organist for Billy Graham for a number of years, and went on to become a teacher and a professor in church music and writing a great deal about the place of music and worship in our lives. And I truly admired my Uncle Don. He was such a just nice man, but he was a powerful man in that he had a great deal of influence because he worked so hard at being one of the best when it comes to music and performing. And his church in Chicago had an idea. It was a church where Billy Graham had been a pastor very early in his life and ministry. And it was in a place called Western Springs, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. And they had a desire. They thought, Sunday night truly is kind of a depressing night for many people. And it really is. And that's been documented. Obviously, the weekend is over. Perhaps it went poorly, or we didn't get everything done that we wanted, and now we're facing the next week. And so there was a little bit of a downer in the world on Sunday nights, and that's still true today. And they said, we need to have a real radio program, not something recorded, something real where it's late night. And we'll put together some nice evening, late night music, and a few thoughts and homilies. No, loud preaching or anything like that. Just some comforting music, some thoughts of encouragement, and we'll put it on the radio. But they also decided that they weren't going to just put it on another Christian radio station, and there were a number of those in Chicago. They decided that they were going to put it on one of the top commercial radio stations in Chicago. 50,000 watts. Yes. WCFL, the Chicago Federation of Labor. It was the large radio station that was run by the labor unions of Chicago. It was the favorite of many of the working people in Chicago. And they paid the price of having their program on the air live. You could literally go to the church, sit there in the audience as I did, and watch them produce a real live radio program that went out on the air around the world late night, because 50,000 watts clear channel, And you have to understand something about that time and space. That meant it probably boomed not only from Chicago, but it would be heard perhaps all around America late at night. And it was extremely thoughtful, well-produced. It was professional, and my uncle would have insisted on that. And even that old Hammond organ, he made it sound better than most old Hammond organs could. But that was the program. And it was just that, coming from some of the scriptures that talk about having a song in the night. And it did not mean by night, just the fact that it's nighttime, but the fact that our lives oftentimes have a night, Something is tough. Going through darkness, going through a bad time. The night of the soul, as some of the people of tradition have put it. The dark night of the soul. And so, in the middle of the night, when perhaps our spirits and our feelings and our life feels like it's in the dark and we're confused, could it be something that would be encouraging in the late night? Now, actually, they perfected the format, and later on, other radio stations, and these were not necessarily, of course, they were not Christian radio stations, learned the power of a late night radio presentation that would go through the night. And pretty soon WGN in Chicago came on with a very famous program, again heard worldwide. It was sponsored by a beer company called Meisterbrau, and it was called the Meisterbrau Showcase. And a gentleman named Franklin McCormick had this wonderful, smooth, late-night voice. And I learned a lot because I would listen to that and try to imitate his voice and how he would read poetry and how he would move the music around and actually be able to create an experience. And he was on from 11 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock in the morning. And this young group of people, and they were young at that time, putting together this radio program that was going all across the country called Songs in the Night. Well, I just share that with you. First of all, it's part of my personal story and part of my encouragement to say, and I realized right then there was great power in well-produced radio. The music, the voice, the sound, the ability to not be distracted by pictures, to actually have a theater of the mind accompanying the good music and the good words and the strong voices that were there. Changed my life. And I've done a lot of things, but as I oftentimes say, sometimes as you're finishing up, go back to your first love and give that a shot once again. So that's what I'm doing. And perhaps you will be encouraged to do that yourself. But right now, just with that in mind, Songs in the Night, I was very much challenged by a service that we saw online. We aren't able to go to that church. It's too far away, but we found that we're kindred spirits there. And there was a hymn they sang, and I was so deeply moved by it. I just simply had to copy it down, and I share a few words with you, and I hope you'll think about it. It went something like this. Right now, anything can happen. Right here, everything can change. It is time to cast all your cares upon Him. Right here, right now, no fear. Don't fret, just run to His presence. Just now, He's got every single tear. Be cleansed in the holy rain of Jesus. Right here, right now, no fear. Those words caught me. And so I'm just going to say them as a way of closing out our presentation. Think about this as you're going through the work of the week. the days and times and the challenges. It's going to be a challenging week. Both Karen and I know that for our family and for our business here in Carolina and some of the things that we have to achieve, we're going through some challenges. It's not dark, but sometimes you wonder, could it be? These are all difficult times for us all. Right now, anything can happen. Right now, anything can happen. Right here, everything can change. Right here, everything and maybe anything can change. So, here we go. Right here, right now, no fear. Could we say that? Right here, right now, no fear. Right here, right now, no fear. 6 words, and I think it might be not only a prayer for the night, but you know what? I was so deeply moved by it that I said, I'm going to learn to say that all the time. Right here, right now, no fear. Right here, right now, no fear. Every last person who's listening to this program, and even all the people who aren't, are facing something that's fearful or challenging or perplexing or confusing. And life isn't working fully as we wish it were. So, right here, right now, no fear. I'm Stan Houston. Just some Sunday night thoughts for your thought and consideration. Hey, we've got lots of good stuff coming up this week. I've put out a number of programs, both video and teaching programs, which I'm going to be talking about. Remember last week we talked about taking the Dale Carnegie idea, and we put that into 10 programs, and that's going to be not only on audio, but video, and hopefully it'll be with your help, perhaps a major book, taking the classic How to Win Friends and Influence People, and we turned it into Make Good Friends and Make Your Mark in the Marketplace, How to Seek and Enjoy True Success in Your World and possibly the world today. We're doing more of that. You need to be at least able to do a podcast, and so we have a program on how you can be a world-class podcaster. A number of things because we're here to help you with interesting ideas so you can have greater influence, greater impact, and more significant true income in your life. We want to help life be better and business to be better for you. So please reach out to me on a number of things because we can help you. I guarantee it in some way. If I can't do it, I know somebody or something that can. So StanHouston@gmail.com, StanHouston@gmail.com. Please join us again. We've got lots of, I think, interesting and perhaps challenging and maybe things that will make you smile from time to time. All the best and blessings to you. Good evening, rest well, and bye for now.